Welcome back,
Wow.
Galenis Bros. It's been a long while. We just saw that the last one that we did was 4th of October, so last year.
We're a hiatus.
Yeah, bit of a hiatus, but we are back as promised by the community post that we did the other week. But we made it back,
Yeah.
and that's what's important.
Yeah.
So we've got a few new things to talk about, and we're hoping we'll get some people join in. We haven't advertised this, but we're hoping we get a few on.
Maybe some comments for those of them who can't make it.
Yeah. And so something that we're gonna mention. Ooh, Tater Dom's already in. We're back.
Fantastic.
Tater Dom, we missed you.
We're in.
Always early in the chat. Thank you, Dom.
I like a man who's punctual.
Yes.
It's definitely a good trait.
Good to see you too, brother.
Yeah, man, 100%.
And so what we wanted to say was that we are planning to get back to the podcast series, the Pipecast, where we do them pre-recorded, and we were going to do one on the subject of pipe smoking and health and your health. So we don't want to reveal anything now that we're going to say on that and give the content away before we put it out, but we wanted to hear kind of your opinions on it. What's your take on the whole pipe smoking?
Yeah, it can be a bit of a spicy topic.
Yeah, it's a little bit, even people that love the pipe can, have, opinions, like negative opinions on the health aspects. But, we wanted to hear what you thought about that. So that's we might, as people join in, we might remind you of that. So the newcomers can, chuck their, hat in that ring.
Yeah, 100%.
But we've got a few new things to talk about.
Yep.
Some
new hardware.
Some new hardware and some new blends.
Yeah.
So why don't you lead us in, bro?
Right, maybe a couple of things to showcase. First of all, I'm smoking tonight my new Star Meerschaum sort of little mini pipe, fairly sort of smallish bowl. My first Meerschaum, love it, absolutely love it. Very different to the Meerschaum bowl that I got for the Falcon. Lights very nicely, dumps heat out really, really good, and it colours up nicely. So I've got like some kind of coloration on the stem. The bowl's starting to sort of pick up on some colouring now, so it's starting to get a bit of character. Obviously, every one of them is different. Not quite an army stem, but it unscrews. I quite like that. Threaded stem, which is great.
That's interesting.
Means I ain't got to worry about taking it off and warping anything.
Shrinkage and
It's nice. It's nice, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's tight. It's not, but it's just a nice solid fit. Just the right size for me as well. So that was really good. I sold some stuff. Right, I thought I'm getting old because I sold a guitar amp. I sold my favourite Marshall amp. It went. I thought, well, what am I going to do with the money? So I bought some vestments, so that was pretty good. But that's not for this channel. And then we got, and I thought, well, I'm going to put, what am I going to get out of the money that I'm going to enjoy? So I got 2 new pipes. So this was one of them, and the other one was the Dracula 01, big chunky mother, by Peterson. Whopping bowl, absolute whopper. Nice black, it's briar, but nice black finish. Quite a chunky stem as well. I quite like that. All of these stems I think are slightly different in terms of the way that they design them. But the black and red finish is really nice, and that's a cracking pipe.
Very good looking pipe, very striking pipe.
And then the other thing that I wanted to show off tonight was something that you bought me for Christmas, which was I'll just pop that in the old holder there and just show it up to the camera, which was a Backy pouch. But a Backy pouch like no other for a few reasons, which Wilson's a Sharrow, which is like our local
snuff dealers.
Yes, our local go-to. So they also do Backy blends, and I didn't realise, but they also do accessories, and this is brilliant. And not just because Harry bought it. Got a big pouch, big old pouch in there with like a rubberized liner, so it never dries out. So the Backy stays in. Well, it will eventually, but it dries out much slower, so it can stay in there a few days. I've got a bit in the back there, which I used to put in some pipe cleaners. I've got my check tool and my trusty Zippo that goes in there, and then your lighter, your pipe goes in here, and it'll hold a decent size.
Ooh,
So
nice.
that's the apple. So it's just about. Let's put it about as big as it'll manage.
Couldn't tell that was in there, to be honest.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
But it's just like a cracking thing, like grain leather, nicely made, a lovely thing, very thoughtful and really, really, really good. We're not sponsored by Wilson's Sharrow. We've tried to get Wilson.
We have contacted
Wilson's.
them.
I'm not getting. Listen, they're going to come round and drive a truckload full of backer to my house. I'm not going to say no. But yeah. So, I can't recommend.
Yeah.
Other brands are available.
Listen, guys, we're not looking for sponsors,
No,
okay? We don't want...
Don't come round to my house giving me stuff.
Don't send tobacco,
it's the
don't send pipes.
Wrong
right?
place. Wrong place. We're not interested. But yeah, but that was a really thoughtful gift.
I'm glad you liked it, man.
Really,
Yeah.
really, really good, and it goes everywhere with me. It goes to the waterside when I go fishing. It goes out on hikes when I go out hiking. I've not been out yet this year, but I will do. It goes everywhere with me. If I'm going out, if I'm going to the pub, and I'm having a smoke, I'm taking my pipe. I'm taking it all in this. Spot on.
Yeah, it is good because, you know, like, obviously pipe smoking is like quite a bit, sort of like an accessory laden thing. I need my pipe.
Yeah.
If I got a Falcon, I need like my bowls.
I need my effects.
Yeah, my possibles.
My possibles.
I need my tamper, I need my
Yeah.
lighter, I need my cleaner. So
Yeah.
to have them like in one place is a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So that was great. Also, we're smoking a new blend tonight.
Yeah. So
not a new blend as such because they've been around since Adam.
yeah, but new to us.
New to us.
So we're smoking tonight, by the way, Highland Duncan has joined the chat.
Highland Duncan.
Good
great
to see you both back. Thank you, brother. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, we've got smoke snacks on. Good to see you back.
And Ocean Odyssey.
All right.
So thank you, brothers.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
guys.
joining. We missed you all too, by the
Yeah.
way. We missed this. We love chatting with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are smoking Saint Bruno's, which is
Eventually.
obviously it's like the other blend that you can get in supermarkets over here. The other one being Condor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just telling Dion recently. I was out on the cul-de-sac with my kids, and they were kind of just riding their bikes around. And I got a neighbour down at the end who I knew likes a cigar, but I'd not spoken to him for a while. And he came out. He saw me with my pipe, and he came out with his pipe. And it was a church warden.
Yeah.
And he had the stem like upside down, so it was like, and I was like, bro, yeah, you turn around.
Yeah.
But he asked me a few tips, like basically on how to keep the thing lit. But I saw that he pulled a pouch of Saint Bruno out, and I was getting the room note, I guess. Even though we were outside, I was getting the second hand hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this smells amazing.
Yeah.
It smells amazing. Like kind of like just a classic pipe smoke kind of a scent, like a little bit floral and stuff. I was like, I've got to try this. So in the end, I picked up a 25 gram pouch. I was like, 25 grams, if I don't love it, it's no big deal. But
Yeah.
it turns out it's great. It's really nice. So it's a Virginia and Kentucky. So I'm guessing when they say Kentucky, like obviously like pipe tobacco descriptions are like notoriously vague and like ambiguous,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing that means dark fired Kentucky, which would mean burley,
Yeah.
and that wouldn't surprise me because I
Yeah.
can taste like a very chocolatey kind of
Yeah.
a dark burley, and also a bit of a floral note, which people say may actually just come from the dark fired burley itself, but it's got a bit of a casing, which they describe as citrus. I don't know if I'm picking up a whole lot of citrus.
No, I said to you just before while I was packing and lighting, so it's got a bit of a touch of the Lakeland about it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's not quite as kind of in your face as that, but there's definitely a floral note to it, which is really nice.
I think it's got the chocolatiness, kind of a Coniston cut plug,
Yeah.
but without all that heavy geranium. But it's also got a bit of like dark Virginia stewed fruit kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You do get those Virginias. It's not like a straightforward burley. But those Virginias are there in like a kind of stewed fruit, prune, dark fruit kind of a way. But with the chocolatiness of the burley, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's
very
good. I'm really impressed. And actually, I'm drinking a cider tonight. It's because with it being Lent, we're off wine, so we're going for We're going for peasant ales. And that's all right. That's fine. And actually, it goes quite nicely with this.
Yeah.
A bit of a fruity twang and the dark fruits in the back tends to work quite nice together. Now you mentioned that it's not known as a ghoster, which is obviously one of the, I guess, a drawback for the Condor blends.
Yeah, I mean Condor's a notorious like ghoster. Yeah.
I mean, I love Condor.
Yeah,
I love it.
Mm.
But it's a bit of a bugger for ghosting.
I mean, on the subject, on a slight tangent, sadly, the flake has been discontinued.
Yeah,
Condor flake that came in the brown packet. What a shame.
I know.
Because I remember being introduced to Condor by you, and you gave me a flake.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, for whatever reason, I enjoyed it more than the Ready Rubbed. I don't know.
Same.
Yeah,
same. Don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's because we break a flake up the way that we break a flake up, and we like the way that we do it. I don't know if there's a bit of that. You know, what they call in the recording business demoitis, you know, like you do it that way and you always do it that way, and somebody else does it for you, it's not quite right. Don't know, maybe something like that. Maybe not. Maybe there is a different process or something different that they do to prepare it. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I kind of miss the long call. I hear that apparently in Ireland, that they're able to do not just the flake but the plug.
Ooh.
I think I'll stand corrected if that's not the case. Somebody might come on and say I'm talking bol, in which case fine. But I'm sure that was a thing. So might be.
Plugs are a lot of fun because obviously you can slice your own thickness.
Yeah.
And it's an extra little step, a little
bit more
bit fun.
faff, but great in the jar. And you can just leave it forever. It'll just look after itself.
I mean, our favourite plug probably the Peterson's Perfect plug.
Yeah, 3 pence is great.
Another plug that I love is Redbreast plug.
Yeah.
Which is a Gareth one, Samuel
That's
Gareth.
right.
And it's a Lakeland, but it's not a typical Lakeland.
Yeah.
It's very like winey.
Yeah.
And spicy, and not too much of the floral that you would get in like
the Connie.
You know, like an Ennerdale or a Coniston.
Yeah. So in terms of the new stuff, while we're talking about new stuff, one of the things that sort of cropped up for me a little while ago was like how to prepare a pipe, or how to get it broken in, and how each kind of pipe is slightly different with getting broken in. So I mean, like with especially with caking. So like with this one that I've got, like with the Meerschaum, like it's not good to have cake in it, right? It's good to keep them clean. So so after every smoke, it's clean the stem out and clean the bowl out. One of the things that I liked about the Peterson, the Dracula, was that when I showed it to you when I first got it, like yes, you see somewhere when they carbonise it, don't they? Where they just like put like a hot.
Yeah, Blakemore does that. Yeah,
that's right.
They got like it's kind of like a like a metal kind of cylinder that is the diameter of the chamber. Right. That's just right.
To scorch it effectively. Well, this wasn't that. I don't know what it is that they've done with it, but it was almost like gritty as the finish. So they must do something, whatever it is that they do, to finish the inside of the pipe.
Was it the Dracula?
Yeah, but it caked so quick.
Really?
I'm talking like I was starting to get cake after about 3 smokes.
Right.
It's unbelievable. So I'm having to kind of. I was almost kind of at the point where I was starting to trim back even after like a dozen smokes. So it just struck me that like every pipe you get is going to be completely different. Yeah,
that's true. I think what they do with the like pre-carbonisation, they use like an activated charcoal paste.
Right.
I've heard people recommend using like a paste of sour cream and an activated charcoal. I don't know if pipe makers use that.
I heard honey as well.
I've heard people use honey.
Yeah.
I can see. I guess the sugar would burn and like caramelise. I guess I've never done it myself.
Not personally. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I know. Yeah, I couldn't put anything like foreign in it. No. I've got to say, personally, I've never done a like intentional break-in. Whenever I've had a new pipe, I've never smoked partial bowls. Really, I've always like packed a full bowl and smoked it. And you know, it just comes as part of it.
That was mutton chops. Perspective that look, smoke it how you smoke it. It'll look after itself. Don't get hung up about it.
Right.
You know, if all you do is smoke half the bowl and the rest of the bowl, and it cakes up slower at the bottom. Don't worry about it. You're trimming the cake at the top, and the cake at the bottom will come when it comes.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that we can overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
And it should be a simple, enjoyable kind of thing. But yeah. So to go back to the new stuff. Now I got onto a new blend that until a few months ago I had no idea even existed. And it turned out to be exactly the thing I was looking for. So it's Gareth Hogarth Rodeo. So it's got some sick cover art. There's a cowboy on the front breaking in a bronc.
Oh yeah.
He's got a lasso. But it's a. So I was really enjoying Cornell and Deal's Burley Flake number 1. That was my go-to. That well ran dry.
It surely did.
And I was looking for a Burley to replace that. And I was smoking a lot of Peterson's Perfect Plug. It's going back to my old favourite of Gareth Hogarth's Best Brown.
Yeah.
Smoking a bit of Stockerbie, 1931.
Yeah. Cracking
But
flake.
anyway, I saw this Rodeo on the Pipe Tobacco Reddit. Never seen it before, and the description was basically that it was pretty straightforward Virginia Burley, no casing, no like topping or anything. Quite burley forward. So I was like, yeah, that'll do. I'll try that.
Yeah.
And it took a few balls to grow on me. It was different, for sure, from the Burley Flake. I think that is a masterpiece of Burley. I love that.
Yeah.
But it's really grown on me, and now it's become my daily smoke. And I love the way the Burley comes through. It is very Burley dominant. So it's also described as a shag cut. Now, you may say it is a shag cut by Gareth Hogarth standards.
Right.
Everything they do is beefed up.
It's big.
And the flakes are
The
thick,
big
like
they are,
T-bone steaks.
They're like house bricks.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
So it's a ribbon. Essentially, I would call it a ribbon cut.
Yeah.
It may be slightly thinner than what Gareth would produce as a regular ribbon cut, but it's easy to pack. Obviously, it's ready to go straight from the tin. It's not like overly wet like Gareth Hogarth's tend to be.
Yeah.
But it packs nicely. Pack it a little bit tighter than normal, than I normally would, because of the the thinness of the ribbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because it can be a quick burner because of that.
Yeah.
But lovely, chocolatey, cocoa leather kind of blend. Really like full-bodied, quite a strong nicotine kick as well.
Okay.
But just beautiful with coffee. Just exactly what I wanted at the end of the day. So
good call.
Beautiful blend. So Rodeo, wholehearted recommendation.
I've got to say as well, like, because I picked up a tin of Bob's Chocolate Flake again,
Right.
But the Gareth Hogarth one. I was able to pick up the Samuel Gareth one in the shops. There was a shop in Birmingham, not far from my office at work, and I said, I'm going to nip down at lunchtime, go and see what they've got in. So I thought, they've got the chocolate flake in, brilliant. I'll pick one up, not realising to start with that it was the Sam's. It wasn't
it's not the
Gareth Hogarth. It's not the same. And I finally narrowed it down. It's the topping. They don't include the topping so much, and I find that topping, that Lakeland that they put on the Gareth Hogarth flake, just I love it. I'm an absolute fiend for it. But I managed to pick some more back up. It wasn't a tin that I picked up, but I've got my old tin from last time, so that I love the tin, love the artwork on that as well. Like, the artwork's great. It's got like an old mill inside. Yeah, it's cracking.
The that little cardboard sleeve kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
It's the factory, isn't it?
That's the factory. Yeah. And I just got it straight back in there. I thought, it can stop in there. That was really good. And then so that was that. So I've gone back onto that and. Love it. That's in the rotation. And then the other one that I picked up was one. Again, I think I'd gone to Birmingham. I thought I could do with another blend in the rotation. What have we got? I picked up some University Flake.
Yeah.
And I got back and pulled out one. The flakes are big. They're not thick, but they're big, wide, right? And they rub out so nicely. Like they just fold nicely, like lovely consistency, like drops to pieces, but it's not like it doesn't drop into chunks. It's just nice and ribbony. Don't have to manipulate it much. You don't have to rub it loads. Just a bit of a rub. get it packed, stuff it, and then light it up, and it filled that big bowl, that big bowl in the Peterson Dracula, and I chonged the lot. And let me tell you, the nick hit I got from that was astronomical.
Yeah.
And so I went on to smoking reviews, review pipe tobacco.
Yeah, tobacco reviews.
And and it was weird because like half of them were saying like this is an absolute nick monster, and some of them were like this is fine. It's quite lightweight. I'm like, well, you can't both be right. Like, it absolutely floored me. But I messaged you saying like I'm having to pull every weapon in the arsenal to try and not get Nick sick here. But I'm not having it. I'm smoking a lot. I love it. Like I'm having a drink of tea. I'm having a bar of chocolate. Like I don't care. I am finishing this bowl. But like that's a really lovely blend. Dark Virginias. Again, sort of stew fruits. It is topped, so it's very kind of plummy, raisiny. Reminds me a little bit to that extent of Condor, but it's not got the Condor kind of topping. It's more the kind of the darker, dark fruit kind of flavours that come through. But yeah, so that's now firmly in the rotation. One of the things that I did notice about that, which I did want to speak about tonight, was about jarring.
Oh yeah.
The effects that does on your tobacco.
Yeah.
So some of them, the guys that were saying on tobacco reviews are like, get it jarred, jar the lot, right? Get it home, get it in a jar. I picked up some My Mixture 965. They said like, stick it in the jar for a month, then open it and smoke it. I didn't do that. I came back home and I smoked a bowl, and then I jarred the rest and opened and dated it, and then thought, I'll hang on, I'll smoke something else in the rotation, I'll come back to it. Did make a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Make a difference.
Jarring makes a lot of difference. So.
What's going on there?
I think I mentioned this on the on here before, but from my personal experience, I used to smoke a lot of Sam Gower's Full Virginia Flake.
Yeah.
And I learned to love it, even though it was a bit burny.
A bit hot, weren't it?
Yeah. But anyway, I kind of moved more towards Burley, and I left what I had in a jar. It's a straight Virginia, by the way, and I came back to it probably over a year later, just over a year, and I pulled it out, and it had all these beautiful crystals all over it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so and sugar crystals. And when I was smoking it young, it had this vinegary apple cider vinegar kind of taste, which wasn't unpleasant. I enjoyed it, but it was a very vinegary, sour kind of a raw kind of a taste. But let me tell you, a year in the jar, it turned it into like apricot jam. It was like really jammy, sweet apricot peach kind of notes. Absolute night and day. It was so sweet, so lovely. And I think Virginias in particular benefit from a long jarring. So, I mean, the thing to say about jarring and cellaring is, cellaring, putting tobacco away for a long time. So when I started smoking a pipe, I was quite naive to the whole tax situation. Obviously, over here, I mean, even as since we started smoking pipes, the tax has gone up. So what we're paying is insane. But obviously, in the US, you guys don't get taxed on tobacco to the degree or anything as well, to the degree that we do. So I was seeing like on the Reddit, I was seeing like, got a cellar haul, this is all going in the cellar, and it'd be like tubs, like tins and tins and tins. I'm like, oh my god, everyone in here is rich.
What are you doing?
Why is everyone in here so rich? How are they? And then I realised you kind of got like a constant 50% sale on tobacco. But yeah, so over here, it's it's a little bit different. But if you
also, I guess that kind of makes sense if you know the duty's going to go up every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy some, store it. Like, it'd be great next year, and you paid. Right. Whatever it is.
Exactly. It probably is the move.
Less. Yeah.
It probably is the move, yeah.
It's maybe the thing.
So we got Dave in. Dave says, evening gents, glad to see you both back. Got a jar of University Flake. It's amazing. Goes dark and really rich. Yeah, it's a beautiful, dark, fruity kind of flavour. Dave says, also smoked my way through some samples recently. Really enjoyed Charatan 1992, my birth year. Took me by surprise. Got a tin of My Mixture 965, but I think I prefer 1992. Reminds me of incense in church. So has it got a bit of Latakia in? Because I find that the Latakia smells of the church incense. The 965, I really like that.
I love that blend.
Yeah, I
love that blend, and it's kind of so I love. I've got it in the pouch actually. I love the Sam Gowith's squadron leader, or Gareth Hogarth's squadron leader.
It's Gareth Hogarth's squadron leader, yeah.
Like lovely blend, like amazing blend.
Beautiful.
Like Virginia and Latakia, just
and Oriental.
And Oriental, yeah, and it's nice. The 965. I don't know what it is that's different about it. But that's just that the Latakia in that is so smooth. It goes down so nice. Any time of day, because I know people who've said like they prefer that to the nightcap. And then there's other people who said, I prefer that to the EMP. I think, it'll sit between both of them.
I agree, yeah.
So you can smoke it any time of the day. You just get that lovely Perique, lovely Latakia, that lovely Latakia smokiness to it. Reminds me a bit of like Lafroig, like sort of peated whiskies. Just a beautiful blend is that. So, but I get it. I get that there's it's a bit of a mixed bag. People have got their own kind of thing on it.
I think what sets the 965 apart is it's got a couple of unusual editions you don't really see anywhere else. So it's got the Macedonian Bright leaf, which is its Oriental edition, and the other, of course, is the Brown Cavendish. So it's got the edition of the Cavendish. Typically, you see Cavendish, black Cavendish. But this is brown, which is
for arrows.
Yes, mainly in aromatics. It's usually in there to sweeten something up. And cool it down. And the brown is like, because the Cavendish is not a variety of tobacco as such, but a method of processing.
Right.
Where it's like, steamed and fermented for a long time. The brown one is it spends less time under the steam and fermentation. I believe that is why it's brown as opposed to black. It's like the difference between the brown and black robes. And it's really got a caramel kind of note that the black doesn't, and it's also got a nut. I'm not sure where the nut is coming from, but it's got a nutty note.
See, I think it's doing the job that a Burley would do in a similar kind of blend, but it's a great swap out. For a change up.
And the for me, like the nutty note wherever that's coming from, and the sweet caramel from the brown Cavendish really reminds me of like a Nutella, like a praline kind of a taste. And with the smoky Latakia, it's a lovely blend. I mean, Nightcap. I mean, I love Nightcap. That's a great blend, and I really do think like maybe I said before, maybe I'm a sucker for the marketing, but I do think it's a nighttime smoke. It's like a ponderous kind of a smoke. Do you know what I mean? Like a chilled, low key kind of a smoke.
I find Perique kind of has given me weird dreams as well in the past.
That's interesting,
When I've smoked really Perique forward blends, I've always kind of gone to bed, like especially some of the C&D blends. I've gone to bed and I've had some like really weird dreams. Not like necessarily bad dreams or nightmares, but like just really weird, vivid dreams.
Interesting.
I was obviously doing something upstairs.
But the 965 is beautiful. And since Dave has joined the chat, we were gonna mention that we had a bit of correspondence during the hiatus that we took. So Dave got in touch with us, see how we were doing. So thank you for that, Dave. Dave's just had Easter, being a Christian, Roman Catholic. So
Christ is risen.
Christ is risen, and we still got some way to go.
We're about halfway through.
But we hope you enjoyed your Easter, Dave, and thank you for checking up on us. We also had some correspondence from Duncan, who's joined the chat earlier. Duncan checked up on us a couple of times actually when we've been when we've had a break and stuff. So hardcore fan there. So thank you, brother. And we also had like a bit of a message from a guy, older guy, 80. I think he said 80 odd. He was in his 80s, and he's not joined as far as I know, he's never joined the chat. So we're going to keep him anonymous. But so he had a little story to tell, and he said that he liked to watch the stream. He liked to watch us like having a smoke. he first picked up a pipe at age 16.
Yeah.
So he picked up his first pipe at age 16, and he was saying how in the shop, the tobacconist, there were so many pipe tobaccos to choose from. Now he didn't say whether he was in the UK or what. I don't know where he's from. But you know, like, things have changed so much. Obviously, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And another thing that you can't do anymore that he mentioned that he did straight away. He said he picked up he said he didn't really know what he was choosing, but he picked up a nice mild blend. And then he went to the cinema. He took his pipe to the cinema, which is, you know, like,
can you imagine? That's so good.
how cool.
Oh,
How cool that. And he said he watched a World War II like naval epic.
yeah.
And it was set on a submarine. And he said he was watching all the bearded kind of like military men smoking their pipes and doing their plans and stuff. And he said, like, luckily because he picked a mild blend, he was able to smoke all the way through and you know, like, not get the nicks in.
Yeah.
And he said that he kind of graduated onto St Bruno, which maybe suggests that he is in the UK.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I don't believe it's that.
Doesn't travel often, does it?
No, I don't think so. And he said he kind of landed aromatics. He enjoyed aromatics. And he said he's given up the pipe, but you know, he would be open to giving it another try again.
Yeah.
So that was a nice little story.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just like a little like snippet of a time gone by.
Yeah.
When things were.
It'd probably been a cinema like with the old ushers as well.
Yeah.
Kind of get yourself sat down, come and take you to your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that must have been so cool. I think there's. I must admit, I look at kind of older, not even like old, but like older, like TV programs and stuff, like people smoking in pubs. Like, oh, God, I've been smoking in a pub.
I know. Well, that's the thing about The Sopranos. You know, it's set in. I don't know if things have changed, but it's set in obviously late '90s, early 2000s, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And people are smoking in like restaurants and bars.
Yeah.
Like, when did we ban it? Was it 90s?
No, it was kind of early noughties, wasn't it?
Was it?
Was it 2002, something like
Right.
that?
So yeah.
Something like that. 2003 maybe.
But it's really weird to see. In
Yeah.
fact, it's quite weird to see anybody smoking any kind of tobacco on, you know, like anything that's been produced in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to see it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it used to be the cool guy, like, smoked it. Yeah, like a cigar.
A Marlboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the tough guy smoked a cigar. Probably didn't see
Yeah.
pipes that much, you know,
Yeah.
unless it was an older dude. Or,
Yeah.
But yeah, things have changed a lot. So.
They really have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. I think as well. Then you know, when I speak to people about about smoking a pipe, they're like, "Oh, I'm a bit young to be smoking a pipe." It's like, yeah, but that guy bought his at 16.
Yeah, exactly.
I took mine up at 40.
Yeah.
Like, it's you know, I'm in the twilight of my years now. That's it. You know, but like, that wouldn't have been a weird thing to see people wandering around with a pipe.
No way. I mean, it was the way that you smoked back then. That was just it was what you did.
Yeah. So it's pretty it's pretty crazy how times have changed, I think. But then I kind of see like, there's a couple of guys who've gone away to, fairly recently to continental Europe, like Serbia and stuff. Like want smoke in pubs. Yeah, like they'll smoke inside. Wow, amazing. What a treat.
Yeah, but I think this relates to obviously the topic that we brought up at the start, which is what we said at the start is that we're planning to get back to doing the podcast, and the next one that we want to do is pipe smoking and health.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone in the chat that wants to chime in, we just kind of wanted to gauge opinion of the people that watch. What is your take on pipe smoking and health? So we're going to do that in the future. We've got a few more. We've got one more chat. Love your takes on these tobaccos, guys. When I started smoking pipe, different account, your advice episodes were game changers. Thank you. Pipe smoker for life now. That's from Smoke Snacks. Thank you, man.
Bless you.
Yeah, I mean that's really flattering that we were
it
able to help out. You know, a couple of people have said that we've given some good advice. So yeah, I mean,
take it with a pinch of salt. You know, just our opinions in it. So it's what we think. You know, people's opinions vary, but you know, glad to chip in.
Yeah,
that's
man.
That's what I like about the community.
Exactly.
Chip in.
That's flattering. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm glad you got something out of it. I mean, that first episode of the podcast that we did, the 1 year of pipe smoking, that's one of the the most popular videos that we put up.
Yeah.
got a few thousand views. I think like 5,000 odd.
Yeah.
And people have. I think there was some gems in there. I
Yeah.
think we did well with that.
We're probably closing in on 2 now, aren't we?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
very far
Well,
away.
I think we've passed that.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing as well that we've not mentioned yet, which is kind of new, although it's not, the whole thing's not new, but we've had new additions. We've got the bar sorted out.
Of course,
finally.
yeah.
So we got a proper pub sign, Green Dragon. That was very kindly bought by my missus. So Mrs. Dion sorted me out with that one. I've got all my glassware up on the top. Finally, got that sorted, and I've got, you can't see it all down here, but I've got can't have a bar without a bar mat. So I've got a nice Green Dragon bar mat that everything's currently stood on. So
and some cool coasters as well.
we've got the for when we're back on the old on the tough stuff.
What is that? Is it Buffalo?
We've got some Buffalo Trace in there. Picked another bottle up. Got a nice ship's decanter full of port in there. Got a nice 10-year Ruby. So yeah, we're all kitted out now. All sorted out.
Beautiful. Right. Yeah. So.
So in terms of the stuff on health, I remember we talked very very briefly last time about there was a book on Amazon that we picked up from one of the guys. But I spoke to my mum about this, and that there are this is going back some time, but there are discussions about the way that tobacco helps control like mucus production.
Right.
And I must say, like, especially if I've done a couple of retro ales, because I tend to get like sinusitis and stuff. Not to kind of spill the beans for the next session's for the next session's content, but I always found that it's been like positive. I've had benefits from that. I know we've mentioned it before about getting Nick sick, and I think like if it's managed well, if you manage your smoke well throughout, don't rush it. I think that's probably the only thing that I would say that I would like. Nobody enjoys that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to get too much into the content of the next thing, but like you say, I mean, as with everything, dose is the poison.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
You can get a water toxicity if you drink too.
Yeah.
So,
hydrocephaly.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's all good. So we'll cover that in a bit more detail next week. Well, the next session at least. So yeah, like the other thing as well that I wanted to kind of touch on is about the collection, because I took a look at my kind of pipe collection, thinking like, oh, what have I got in there? I've kind of got a bit of all sorts. I've got some cheaper pipes. I've got something that's a bit of an all rounder. I've got I've got a couple of church wardens. I've got a couple. Is there a kind of a right time and a wrong time to buy a new pipe? I'm looking at a man that bought a lot of pipes.
Yeah. I've got more pipes than I can store, really.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started, obviously I was really taken with collecting pipes, and I was probably getting like a new pipe every month.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2. But I really slowed down on that, and now I'm more interested in at first I wanted to try all the backies, getting samples of this and that. I wanted to get new pipes, and now I've found my favourites really. So have I got it with me? So this is my favourite pipe, which is my Savinelli Sistina. It's like a bent acorn. I can't remember the model number, but it's a lovely acorn shape. It's got a nice bend to it. That's my favourite pipe.
Yeah.
I love to smoke it while I'm reading because it hangs nicely.
Nice size.
Yeah, and I can just let that go.
It's a bent, but it's not like massively bent, is it?
It's not like your apple. It's not like a Umpar kind of bend, but and I've got my favourite blend, which was. Until recently, it was the Burley Flake, and now it's the Rodeo, and so I've gone from like being all over the place to really like coming in, settling in on a pipe and a blend.
Yeah. Do you know what I find as well? Like when you've kind of gone through that period, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because you're just trying stuff out.
I mean, I think it's not only good but necessary.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's you know, once you've kind of got through that, you got past that, and you start getting into the blends that you really like, and you've got something like maybe 2 that you might have in rotation, 2 or 3, maybe just 1 if you're just smoking that for a week or 2, and then you pick something else up that you've not smoked in ages. It's like a real treat.
Yeah.
It's like oh yeah, I remember what that was like. But then you kind of think, oh okay, I'll keep it in the jar. It's all right in there. It's not going anywhere. Pick another blend up, and it happened with me with the I picked up some rope, and it was the apple twist rope, and it had been, I bet it's been probably 18 months since I smoked that.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, do you know what, bugger it, I'll cut a couple of coins off, see how we do. It was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice, and I remember like I was having nothing but trouble with it when I first smoked it. I couldn't really settle down with it, but it was like a proper little treat. And I thought, and then I had a look at others while I was in. I thought, oh yeah, I've got some of that as well. I've got some Connie Cut plug. I've got some 3Ps. I've still got my 3P plug in there. I've got got a load of other stuff in there that I can pick up. So I think it's nice when you've got kind of your usual, and then just kind of dip into the others.
Yeah.
As and when.
It is really nice,
and
it reminds me of a quote that you brought up on the Pipe Quotation podcast that we did, and I can't remember who said it, and I'm paraphrasing, but it said something like like men like nice old worn jackets with patches and stuff.
Really?
I don't think it was. I think it was another dude. I can remember you mentioned something about him that sticks out in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't C.S. Lewis. It was another guy, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, so that comfort, that you're coming home to that pipe that fits in your hand that way, and it hangs in your mouth that way, and the blend that is going to give you that flavour, that taste, and that hit that that you've been looking forward to. There's just something really nice and comforting about that.
Well, speaking of comforting and nice, bro, I'll tell you what, I'm about halfway through. It's a slow smoker, slow burner. You're right about the moisture control, but the taste is absolutely fantastic.
Beautiful,
I'm halfway down, and it's really developing.
Mm.
It's got a proper roundness to it as you start getting down it. Once the topping starts to come away a little bit, so not heavily topped, but even that little topping starts to come away. Oh, lovely!
It is
really good.
I think
it's going in the rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get some more, I think. Smoke Snacks, so I think he's commenting on the health thing, said, watched a video from a dentist, and he said in decades he had never seen a pipe smoker suffer from any ailments that the non-smokers didn't. Interesting. I've heard similar things.
Yeah.
David says, I'd love to hear your health video and research, especially the books, etc. I've watched a few pipe smoking health videos, including the one Smoke Snacks mentioned, and read a few bits. For me, there's clearly some risks, but you can say that about everything. Yeah, I think that's a decent take. For me, it comes down to everything in moderation. Yeah. I think definitely something to be said about that.
Processed food.
Exactly.
Brake dust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want to go into this on the video, but so yeah, we'll get that recorded soon.
Yeah.
And we'll pre-record that. It won't be a live one, and then we'll put it up and hopefully that'll spark some discussion maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then hopefully we've got we've got another couple of weeks of Lent, but then we'll be back pretty much on the hard stuff. I think. It'll be whiskies. The other thing as well that Ari and I have kind of been talking about is maybe having a bit of an offshoot, haven't we? A bit of a branch off, because I have recently. We are very lucky to have right round the corner from where I live a little tea merchants, Northern Tea Merchants on Chatsworth Road. God bless you. That they obviously, as the name would suggest, they are heavily focused on different types of teas, but they've got a massive stack of coffees.
Yeah.
Now, unlike most kind of even sort of niche coffee merchants, in some of the big cities, these guys get beans direct from suppliers. So they will go to Costa Rica, they will go to Nicaragua, they will go to Kenya or to Jamaica or wherever it is that they're getting them from. They will go. Colombia, the best, among the best. And they buy them green and they roast them themselves.
Oh, right.
So they're a proper little roastery as well, and their coffee is fantastic. It's really, really good. They get stuff that you can't get in most places, definitely not in supermarkets. All beans. So they'll grind it for you if you want to tell them. So, can you grind it espresso? Can you grind it whatever? Can you grind it, coarse? Or they'll just sell you the beans direct. And I picked a few up, sorted you up some out with some Costa Rican. I picked up some Costa Rican. I thought initially I wanted to get some Cuban. Apparently that's getting hard to get. Also, there are other reasons why I'm not all that upset about not getting Cuban. That's fine. And we've also mentioned the same about cigars. There, like quality control, is it starting to slide? Anyway, that's an open question. That's not me being snarky. But I picked up three single origin beans, and I tell you what, they are amazing. They're really really good. That's the dark roast Sumatra, the Kenyan Peaberry, and the Costa Rican. The Costa Rican one is honeyed. So anyway, going off on a bit of a tangent, we thought, well, maybe this is kind of its own thing, because we like coffee as well, and obviously coffee and pipes go nicely
hand in hand.
But we kind of talk a lot about pipe stuff and tobacco stuff. Maybe we need another place to talk about sort of coffees.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe.
So we're thinking about doing
channel.
like a bit of a sister channel, and we can go into different beans, we can go into different brewing methods, and we can get a little bit into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think both of us have experimented a little bit with different methods. I mean, I like my, I don't know, pretty basic, I guess, but I tend to go back to my French press a lot.
Yeah.
But we've got the mocha pot.
Yeah.
The pour over.
Yeah.
Never tried an AeroPress. I know people say a lot of good about that.
I've got one at work.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The whole chemistry set thing.
Yeah, they're okay. And then I've got the espresso machine.
Right.
And the milk steamer.
Yeah. I might need to invest in a espresso machine. Yeah.
Charity shops.
Yeah.
So apparently my mum and dad have picked one up, a Krups one for £6.
Really?
Yeah.
I got my sister one for Christmas. What was it? I can't remember the name. It's
DeLonghi?
Yeah, maybe in DeLonghi. Yeah. It was just over £100, I think.
Yeah.
And she said it's decent. It's good.
They're good. Yeah, they're good. They're all right. So yeah, I picked up the mocha pot after I wanted to start expanding my cocktails palette to include espresso martinis, and it calls for freshly pulled espresso shots.
Right.
I thought, well, obviously I could do it in the espresso maker, except my coffee machine bust. So, but I have got another one. My mum and dad effectively donated me their Krups one because they got the other one from the charity shop.
Right.
But I thought, well, in the meantime, I can't be without a coffee machine. What am I going to do here? So I picked up a mocha pot and took a bit of finagling, took a bit of finessing to really get to grips with it. There's definitely a right way and a wrong way to use it, and I obviously started like everybody did, just boil the hell out of it, nuke it, and I was thinking coming out like
it burns it.
It's a bit scalded, bit bitter. And then as soon as I kind of learned how to manage the temperature a little bit, it was coming out really good. So that's what I've been using for my espresso martinis. I thought, well, if I'm using it for espresso martinis, I should be just using it full stop.
Yeah.
So I have been, but I've also got a French press at work, and I've got to say it, for the amount of effort, for the least amount of effort and input, the best thing you can do with a French press half the time is to just leave it. Right. Do a little bit of work, to stir it, a little bit of work to prepare it, and then you leave it, let it settle, let it rest, and so I'm all about that. So I thought that might be a good thing for us to kind of do as a side hustle.
Yeah, Bean Bros.
The only brew for the brave and true.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, like the mocha pot. I mean, that is like the method that Italians.
Oh yeah,
generally used to make their espresso.
That's right.
At home, so.
And I've been so if I'm making an Americano, I'll brew it up in there and just top it up with some hot water, which is what they do, and I thought it's great. But I for work, cause working from home for a couple of days in the week, and I thought, oh, go on and get a brew on. Instead of doing the French press, I used the mocha pot. So I stuck the mocha pot on, and I just banged it all in the cup and just smashed a lot, and I was absolutely wired.
Yeah.
I was totally wired. But I thought, oh, do you know what this needs? Like, once we're through length, a little bit of cream. A little bit of cream in that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like a cafe creme. Like a French, it's like double espresso and some cream. Oh.
Yeah, that's the move.
That's it. So look, that's probably going to be the next like the next sort of branch off. So we'll maybe come up with something on that. Maybe do a review of the ones that we've got. Maybe pick up another one. Methods.
Yeah.
Might sneak a pipe in there as a bit of a cameo as well.
Yeah.
Nice blend to go with coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. Appearance. Yeah.
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 So that's all good. And then, but yeah, we're thinking maybe kind of like once every other week, aren't we? Then maybe the coffee one, maybe once every so often.
Probably less frequent. Yeah. But yeah, we're hoping to get back to some kind of consistency with these, because this is what we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, probably we're looking at every other week. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. That sounds good. Well. It's going down really nice.
Yeah.
So look, I think that's probably a good place to sort of sign off, and then we'll maybe put a community post out
for next time.
Give you guys a tip off when we're going to be lining it up, but it'd be good for an evening where we can get a bit of a drink in as well. Let's see how we get on with that.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a brew.
Yeah, and just as it just came to mind, I put like a solo video up last Friday or whatever it was, and Anthony from Bourbon Neophyte commented, and it's reminded me that ages ago we were gonna do something with him. We were gonna do a collaboration, and we never arranged a time to get that going.
Yeah.
So, but we'd still love to do that. So
I think maybe after Lent we get
after Lent.
Yeah.
Because
easy to have a bit of a drink,
can't we? Have a bourbon, yeah.
But I was thinking that might be quite a nice thing to do. So Pascha, maybe bright week.
Yeah.
Might be quite nice. Get down to Mitch's, pick a couple of, get a nice rye.
Yeah. Some Knob Creek.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we should get in touch, and if we book it in ahead of time, a good time, we can make sure we keep that free, and arrange with obviously the transatlantic time difference and all that. So yeah, I mean that
we'll get the Green Dragon open.
Yes, open for business.
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, it's been good, and thank you for people that left their opinions and stuff on the whole health thing, and thank you for everybody joining in. It's been
and for bearing with us.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. So yeah, it's been good. I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
glad that we got back to it.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, probably looking at 2 weeks' time.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.